Hey guys, what's going on? Today we are in the high country and we're actually pulling in the shop to do some service on it, so I thought I'd shoot a video. Apologize, I haven't made any videos here in a while. I don't know if you can tell by my voice, but I've had a pretty nasty cold that has made me sound just awful. So I just hadn't really shot any videos here lately. But the truck is due for an oil change, and I don't think I've ever done an oil change video on the 2014 Silverado with the 5 in it. So I thought I'd do a oil change video for you guys, show you how that's done. And what better place than in the shop. So I'm gonna show you everything you need and the process that you walk through. All right guys, so I've got everything that we need here. So I'll show you everything on the table that we need, which I need to go get a little more oil, as well as everything that we've got down here. I've actually got the oil out in the old truck. We took it to town to get the oil. Kind of windy out here today. So if we take a look in the truck back here, and I already know people are going to give me crap, but yes, we are doing Super Tech, and I'll tell you why. So there's a couple of reasons that I'm using Super Tech. The first being, I watch Project Farm on YouTube, and I'll leave a link down to his channel down below. But he's done a lot of tests on different brands of oil. Pretty scientific, really. And guys, I'm telling you, this Super Tech is pretty much just as good as the other stuff. So I'm gonna save the few bucks and just run the Super Tech. It's not gonna hurt your engine. I've never known anybody that has said, man, I really wish I'd have run something other than that Super Tech. And B, this is not a performance truck in any shape or fashion. The engine's pretty much 100% stock. You know, maybe if this thing was souped up, tuned, and, you know, running on the track, maybe I'd use Raceline or the Mobile One or something like that. But this Super Tech's gonna be fine for this truck right here. So now that we got that out of the way, you don't have to use the Super Tech if you don't want. That's just what I'm using. But it saved me a lot of money here. You need 8 quarts total of this for the 5.3 liter of 0W20. Dexos rated preferred if you can. So I've got that exactly right here. I've got oil filter wrench. Got an oil catch pan, which I highly recommend if you're gonna change your own oil, you need one of these guys. Mine get used all the time. In fact, you can see the crap on there from where we changed the oil on the Duramax. A filter, which I just kind of cleaned out here. Make sure to have that clean before you start pouring in clean oil. 15mm wrench. And then this stuff over here is optional. I've just got some sort of cleaner, carb cleaner. You can use brake cleaner or whatever. But this is just to clean up afterwards, as well as some shop towels and maybe some kitty litter if you're going to spill it on a concrete floor or something. That'll go a long ways. So first thing that I'm gonna do actually is I'm gonna let the truck warm for maybe 5 minutes or so. And that's just to kind of get the oil stirred up, get some of those contaminants out of the oil pan into the oil to help things move along smoother. Also forgot to mention the oil filter that we're gonna use. We are actually gonna use the AC Delco brand, the PF63E. That's what you want to use on this truck right here. I'm gonna leave links for this stuff down below in the description. If you guys decide that you want to do your own oil change, please consider buying from the link. It does help out the channel. So we're just going to let the truck run for a few minutes. While it's running, I'm going to go ahead and pop the hood so we're ready to roll. And that's out of the way. All right, I've got the oil warm just a smidge. Like I say, I just let it run 5 minutes, pop the hood. And guys, you would want to do this preferably on a cold or cooler engine, because if you do this whenever it's up to full temp, you may get burned whenever that oil comes out of there. So I just want to give you guys a heads up if you're going to do this. Might wait till it cools down a little bit. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to take pretty much everything that we're going to need under the truck, under there. So our 15mm wrench, oil filter wrench, new oil filter, as well as the pan. I'm going to kick the pan under there. Crawl under myself with everything we need. All right, let's scoot that further up here. So where I am, under the truck, front driver's side tire. If we look right here, you can see the blue, the oil filter. So if we roll up here a little bit further, you're gonna see the pan to the transmission right here. And then a little further up, let me turn on my little light here that I got. I actually found this. So this is really helpful for the channel. It's got a magnet at the top, and turn it on. It's LED, pretty bright. So this really helps out, guys, doesn't it? Nice addition to the channel, especially finding it for free. So what we're going to want to do is roll on up here. Make sure you got your catch pan. I would put it more towards, this is actually the drain bolt right here. So what I would do is I would set your pan, if you guys can see that, more on this side of it. So, because whenever it comes out at first, it's going to want to shoot out really far. But then as it starts draining slower, move that pan towards the middle of the bottom of this drain bolt right here. Because once it slows, it's just going to be a drip straight down. So I'm going to go ahead and break this dude loose. So got her broke loose. Just going to slowly start taking it out. Putting pressure against it, watching where my oil pan is. Keeping that pressure against it with every turn. Because once that last thread's out, we're going to try to move our hand out of the way as quick as we can. It feels like we're getting really close here. Oh, I can see some oil starting to drip. So it's ready, just like that. See the oil coming out, and we got minimal on our hands here. So I'm going to set this drain plug off to the side for now. In fact, I'm going to set it right by my wrench, actually. And while that's draining, I'm actually going to go grab a shop towel. So I want to clean this bolt off, and you can inspect it and see if you've got any shavings or anything. A little bit, it's not one in focus, but a little bit is normal. But if you got a lot, you may want to send your oil off, see what's going on, see if there's a concern there. All right, so I'm going to grab me a fresh shop towel here. All back under. We'll just clean this off while we're waiting for that to drain. And see what I mean where it's slowing down? How it's wanting to pour straight down instead of all the way over there. That's why positioning your pan is very important. Okay. So you can see this cleaned up pretty nicely. It doesn't have a crush washer or anything like that, so you don't got to worry about that. I'm going to set it upside down like that so we don't get anything on the threads. We'll let this finish draining off. And while it's finishing draining off, we'll take our oil filter wrench, put it up and over the oil filter, and you're going to turn this to the left to break it loose, so I need to put it on. All right, so you can see I got the oil filter wrench on, and preferably the higher you can get it, the better. Now all I'm going to do is turn to the left. Wasn't on there too tight because I did the oil change myself last time. And that is one reason I like changing the oil myself, is I know it's getting done right. Nothing over tightened, nothing stripped, right amount of oil's going in, everything like that. So I'm going to let that drain off for just a minute. So now I'm just spinning it off. You can wear some gloves if you want to too, make things a little cleaner for you. All right, so we got that off. I'm just going to turn it over. Let it spill out there. So we did get a fair amount on our hands here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to let everything finish draining. And then I'm going to replace the plug, put the oil filter on, and then we're going to clean it up with a little bit of that carb cleaner. All right, so something that I didn't think about while this is draining out, and it's almost done actually. Got my carb cleaner down here, a towel to wipe things down. Forgot that I'm going to take my oil filter out of the box. And what we're going to do is we're going to, lube it up on the top, this top seal. You want to make sure the old one came off and it's not still up there. If you double gasket this, you're going to leak oil and you're going to have problems. So what we're going to do, we're going to crawl out from under the trunk with our new oil filter. I'm going to grab some of the new oil. And I'm not going to fill it all the way to the top, but this just helps prevent a dry startup. What I'm going to do is fill this oil filter maybe 3/4 of the way full. That way helps, like I say, helps prevent dry startup. See where that oil's going in. It's like that filter's starting to soak it up. Nice. All right, so we're getting pretty full there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of this fresh oil up here. I'm going to run it around the gasket. This is an important step right here. It's going to make getting this filter off next time so much easier on you guys. So now that we've got that, we're going to very carefully set it under the trunk so we don't knock it over. whenever we crawl in there. So you can see things have slowed down pretty well. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and take the new oil filter. We'll take the new oil filter. Just gonna put it right up in there where it belongs. Start threading it and spin it on there. See if I can do it with one hand or not. Not yet. There we go. All right, so I'm gonna spin this new filter on there. I'm gonna spin it on there till it's tight. And then basically, I'm just gonna get this guy hand tight. You don't wanna go much more than hand tight, because what you run into is this filter will tighten itself up over time on there, and then it'll be terrible to try to get off next go around. So now, since this is at just a real slow drip here, we've got most of it out. I'm gonna take the oil plug and we'll put it in there. And then I'll take my 15 millimeter and just give her a quick little tighten down. Nothing real serious, just enough to know that it's not leaking. And now I'm gonna push this up and out of the way. Watch out for any drips on the ground. You can see there's a little bit over here. Take a little bit of my carb cleaner and just spray up here on everything. I like to do this for two reasons. A, it just makes it look nice under here. Clean. We know we did a good job. And B, if we have any oil leaks, we'll be able to see them. So just quick wipe down. Doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. But once we get this done, we'll be done under the truck. All right, just like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab my tools, my 15 millimeter oil wrench, my can of carb cleaner, set all this stuff out under here, grab my light, then we can crawl out. All right, done under there, and I apologize for it being shaky, guys. I'm trying to hold my phone in one hand and show it on the video in the other hand. Now, we're gonna climb under the hood. We popped here. We're gonna go over on driver's side. I may actually grab that light again. You guys can see better. Something else to make it feel a little faster and easier. This is the oil dipstick right here. We'll pull that up, allow some air to get in there. Now let's put our funnel in there. All right, there's 3 quarts down the hatch. All right, guys, we're just about finished up. So all I did was take some carb cleaner. I spilled a little bit when I was in the engine bay trying to do this one-handed. But I've just replaced the cap there, cleaned up around it, sprayed my carb cleaner on here and just cleaned it up. You can see it's nice and shiny. And now that that's done, got the cap on. I push my oil dipstick back in. I won't do this on screen, kind of boring. But start the engine up, pull your dipstick, wipe it down, measure on the dipstick and see if you're where you need to be in between the hatches. And then you might just look under the truck real quick, make sure there's no leaks. Might even do that the next day, make sure there's no leaks. And then at that point, you can close the hood. And all we got to do now is reset that oil life monitor, which is really easy. These GM trucks have been like this for years. Now you can go in through the menu and do it, or you can turn your key to the drive position, step on the gas pedal 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And that should, if you go in your menus here, let me take a look. Info. Let's go to our oil. Yep, you can see 100% there. Or you could go in the menu here, like I'm scrolling up and down. We go to the right and reset there. Either way is just fine, but I just like pushing the gas pedal 3 times. Makes it nice and easy. So if we start her up, we should see that we build some good oil pressure. This truck usually runs right around 30, 40 PSI, which we're right at. That's normal since the engine's cold, fresh oil change. And we're done. All right, guys, just like that, that is exactly how you do your oil change on a 2014. I know this will work all the way to the 2016 Chevy. Really, it's almost any pickup that you do. I mean, an oil filter, oil, and then figuring out how to reset that maintenance light. That's all there is to it. Guys, thanks for checking out the video. Stay tuned. We've got a lot more. We got to do a fuel filter change on the Duramax and just a lot more content coming. Thanks for checking out the video, and until next time, take care.